17 wickets fell on the second day of the LV County Championship match between Durham and Somerset at the Emirates Durham International Cricket Ground. A day where the champions kept themselves ahead on a pitch the bowlers enjoyed much more than the batsmen. Somerset had been profligate with the ball on day one, allowing Durham to amass a total of 308, and that soon appeared to be a big one after Marcus Trescothick on 17 was bowled off the inside edge by his nemesis Graham Onions in the morning's 7th over. There was a change in the Somerset batting order, with Nick Compton suffering from a neck spasm, which didn't help the visitors, who soon lost Chris Jones, who'd made 7 when he lost his middle stump to Onions. 2 balls later, and Alvaro Peterson was also back in the hutch, Scott Borthwick holding on to the edge of the bowling of Chris Rushworth. Onions simply loves bowling at his home ground, and he had a 3rd wicket when he trapped James Hildreth in front, a wicket which left Somerset reeling on 43 for 4. It was what many would have been expecting. After all, this kind of batting effort from visiting teams occurred often at this ground last year. Such losses of wickets can sometimes lead to confusion in the running, and Johan Myburgh did his level best to get run out at both ends off the same delivery. That out of the way, he and Craig Kieswetter began to show some fight. This pitch was a million miles away from the one Somerset eased to more than 500 on in Taunton last week. Boundaries here were treated like a batsman's best friend. It had been Durham's morning, although Usman Arshad thought it should have been an even better one when he was convinced that he had Kieswetter LBW. Instead, the home side had to make do with the wicket of Myburgh, as he was given out after being wrapped on the pads by Jamie Harrison after making 22. He and Kieswetter had added 41 for the 5th wicket, but there was still plenty of work for Kieswetter and new man Peter Trigo to do. They both drove well if the ball was pitched somewhere near their feet, as they headed to the break just about still in touch with their hosts. Perhaps they shouldn't have been, though. The final ball of the morning session saw Kieswetter dropped in the slips off Harrison. The early part of the afternoon belonged to the visitors, Trigo showing off his power and timing by pulling Rushworth for a big 6. Indeed, the worm appeared to be turning as both batsmen played some shots as they put on 79 runs for the 6th wicket in only 13 overs. Perhaps they felt that a ball with their wicket on was never far away, so the policy was to make hay while the sun shone. But from 163 for 5, Somerset were dismissed for 185. The collapse began when Trigo, on a top score of 48, was given out LBW to Onions. Kieswetter on 35 followed in the next over, Phil Mustard with the excellent catch standing up to Rushworth. Rushworth then grabbed the 9th leg before decision of the match to get shot of Lewis Gregory for 12. And Craig Macheda followed in a near identical fashion for 4, which had Somerset a long way behind on 185 for 9. Compton had come in at number 8 and was the last man to fall before another run had been added. Yes, it was yet another LBW, this time Arshad being the successful bowler. So Durham had a first innings lead of 123, and now was the time for them to bat their opposition completely out of this contest. They looked to out of sorts Mark Stoneman and in-form Keaton Jennings to give them the ideal start in order to do that. Gregory had Stoneman out in the first over, but another no ball had cost Somerset. In his 3rd over, though, Gregory did get his man as Stoneman went for 6. Variable bounce had caused a few of the batting problems, and that might have had something to do with Borthwick's dismissal, as he fended a ball from Trigo to Jones. Durham were left on 31 for 2, but knew that a couple of good partnerships were perhaps all they needed to take this game away from their opponents. Both Michael Richardson and Jennings have made promising starts to this summer, and they look to be the ones to put their side out of reach. They stuck it out for 16 overs together, in which time they added 57 runs to take the lead beyond 200. Time now for another batting collapse. On 32, Richardson clubbed a short ball from Jamie Overton into the hands of Gregory at mid-wicket. Then, having made another gritty 41 to go with his first innings 80, Jennings edged a drive off Myburgh to Trescothick. Trigo then had Mustard, well caught by Kieswetter at 123 for 5. And next ball, Trigo was celebrating again as yet another LBW decision was given in the bowler's favour. Gareth Breeze the man to go this time. And when in the next over Arshad was caught at slip while driving at Gregory, Durham now was struggling on 124 for 7, having lost 3 wickets for 1 run in 8 balls. There were 8 overs left for Somerset to finish off the innings to give themselves 2 days to chase down a target of around 250. Harrison again upset them with some nice shots as he saw out the day in partnership with his captain Paul Collingwood. 28 runs were added by these two and the lead was growing again. Collingwood ended the day on 23 with Harrison on 16. They took their side to a total of 152 for 7 by the close, which means that Durham will start day 3, most probably the last one in this match, with a lead of 275. A target of more than 300 may be beyond Somerset on this surface, but it only takes a couple to get in.